Last time on My Little Skyrim.
I know, Libby, that you're doing most of the damage. I know that really all I'm doing is getting in your way, but bear in mind. Bear in mind. Get it? Get it? Bears? Oh, hey, a book.
And now, the next episode.
Welcome back to Brony Nerds and Gamers. My name is Drummy. We haven't even taken a break. We gotta follow Barbas all the way. This is My Little Skyrim. So, Clappix Vial. The Daedra. Yes, Barbas. Go on, I'm following. So, Clappix Vial is one of the Daedric princes. Now, if you don't know what a Daedric prince is, that requires a little bit more of a backstory. The Daedra have often been mistaken with demons or daemons in the Imperial tongue. And they very well be. They are pretty much gods to the Dunmer to some of the Dunmer native people of Morrowind. Now amongst such hey, wait a minute. Hey. There. Come on. There you go. I missed him entirely. That sucks. Barbas. Wolf. Don't wolf at me, Barbas. Watch out, Barbas. Who's up there? Hey! What trap did we set off? Take your armor, arrows, and your iron dagger just for good measure. What the heck? Spider! I believe I found myself an invincible dog. That's something good. Hey, hold on there, man. I gotta get these guys. So, Daedra. Very similar to understand them. They're all mostly of the same batch. The Dunmer believe that the Aedra and Daedra are all gods, and they more fall in line with the Greek pantheon of gods, in which some of the gods are good-natured and help the people, like Azura, and some of them are very ill-tempered or even downright evil, like Merut's Dagon. In this case, Galapagos Vial is a... Oh, jeez. What?
What's a milk drinker like you doing out here? Go home to your mother.
I really should kick your ass, but I will be leaving. I gotta follow Barbas, as he leads me on a perilous quest. Climax Vial, one of these so-called Daedric princes, is one of the more mischievous of them. Now, some backstory from Oblivion. In Oblivion, you find Daedric shrines among Cyrodiil. God damn it, man! Will you just hold on, stupid Barbas. I hate this dog already. So you find Daedric shrines all around Cyrodiil in the Elder Scrolls Oblivion, and your goal is to appease each one, and they give you a gift. Now, in Oblivion, in Cyrodiil, what Barbas? What? What? Why? Where are you going now? Barbas? I am very confused. Okay, we're not going towards the the bandit fort? Good, I didn't want to. Where are you taking me? Thanks for the free wolf pelt. Oh, and the refugees that are dead. Hey. Nothing like dead refugees. But in the Elder Scrolls Oblivion, you help Clavix Vial by getting him the Sword Umbra, which the Sword Umbra is a completely different story, all within itself, that takes place in the Elder Scrolls universe. So ignoring that, you bring back Umbra, and you have the choice of either giving Umbra to him or keeping it. In which case, if you give it to him, he gives you the Mask of Clavicus Vial, which is a well-known item in the Elder Scrolls universe. And where are we, by the way? We're in Helgen. This is Helgen. Okay. I didn't think we'd be going back to Helgen, but alright. Whatever you want to do. Helgen has now become a bandit fort, unfortunately. So, we're just going to have to... Easy there, Barbas. I'm not torching you alive. So after you give him back the sword, the dog that he's with, which actually now that I think about it, might also be named Barbas. How'd that dog open up that door? Anyway, let's go. The dog also might be named Barbas. I'm not entirely sure. But he says that if you give him the Sword Umbra, it would be very, very bad, and, you know, Clavicus Vial would probably go crazy with it. Well, a lot of people probably kept the sword for themselves because it was a really good sword. Then again, the Mask of Clavicus Vial was also a very good mask for if you wore light armor. Actually, this is completely unrelated to Skyrim, but in that game, I came across Umbra while just, you know, perusing the lands and found the Sword Umbra. And when you find the Sword Umbra for the first time, you don't get any quest update for it, but you get a sword that has no weight, that deals damage like an ebony sword, and on top of that, casts Soul Trap on all of its enemies. So it was like, score, like, why not? Why would you not keep that? So I just kept it around with me until that time came, and then, like, you know, I went and visited the shrine, and all of a sudden it's like, oh man, I don't want to give this up. And then all of a sudden, then it becomes like a normal sword, and it actually weighs a whole ton, and I was like, oh, that sucks. But that's a completely different story from this. Also, I'm very confused that we haven't seen any other dragons. Maybe we just haven't reached that point in the quest line where we meet dragons, but whatever. We'll just go as we go. We'll get to Jurgen's Wind Caller eventually. I'm sure we will. So in this game, we find ourselves back to Clavicus Vial after the events of Oblivion. Whether or not he's kept the sword, it seems like the end result was that Barbas and Clavicus Vial have a bit of a falling out. If you gave him the sword, most likely it was because Clavicus Vial used the sword and became an evil asshole. And if you didn't give him the sword, probably because he realized that Barbas was behind it, and so he gets pretty pissed. Oh, hey. Who are you? Okay, you won't even talk to me. Thanks for being a putz. Ah, yes. This is it, right? Okay. Let's go to Ymir's Cavern. Of course, I've done a few Daedric Prince quests in Skyrim, and in Skyrim they're a lot more fleshed out like this, where instead of just going to a shrine, you actually happen upon these quests, and it makes it very interesting. I really hope that this is a bad guy, because I'm about to put an arrow in his ass. He has his weapon out. He looks like he's ready to fight me. He really had it coming. I don't mean to be mean and anything, but, you know, I hope he was a bandit. Oh god, he's a vampire thrall. There's vampires? Oh man. This is not good. We're gonna have to be especially sneaky. We're also carrying a bit of extra weight. I wonder why. It's all these books that are filling up our inventory that I need to read. Can't take the torches off the wall. That sucks. Oh gee, I wonder if that's a trap. Oh gee, I wonder if that's the pressure plate for it. Oh gee, I wonder if there's a guy right around the corner. There is. A vampire fledgling. You pointless, pointless creature. Oh wow. It really looks like there's something there. But, I'll take your stuff. That's worth a pretty penny. Thank you. Of course, vampires in the Elder Scrolls have always been very menacing. The threat of vampirism. Something that you never see in any other game. Think about this, for example. And I'm probably sure when we get into the Dawn Guard quest line, we can talk more about this. But think about this in a game where if you mess up, you could very possibly ruin your game for quite a while. You're stuck, aren't you? Thank you. At least our good friend here, Lydia, can sneak as well as we do. I'd hate to be encumbered by, you know, her. Ooh, vampire armor of minor destruction. That's quite better than what we are wearing. Because it has all of what we want and then some. Alright. Looks like I'm switching to vampire armor of destruction. And we'll put on those vampire boots that are so fine. And now we look like sexy vampire lady. All we need now is like a vampire's cowl of restoration. That would be very, very oxymoronic. If you get my meaning. Eh? No? You don't? Well, whatever. As I was saying, is there an enemy here that I'm not seeing? I hope not. That'd be very bad. But I was saying, a mechanic in a game. Oh, look at all the books. Do I have all the biographies of Berenzia before I start grabbing them? Excuse me. Yes, I have all of them. So, and I have the Song of... Oh! Song of Polino, Volume 1. Song of Polino, Volume 1, on his name. And there's no. Volumes 1 through 6 are taken from the so-called Rimmon manuscript located in the Imperial Library. It is a transcription of older fragments collected by an unknown scholar of the early Second Era. Beyond this, little is known of the original sources of these fragments, some of which appear to be from the same period, perhaps even from the same manuscript, but as no scholarly consensus yet exists on dating these 6 fragments, no opinions will be offered here. That he took the name Polino was passing strange, no matter his later sobriquets, which were many. That was an elvish name, and Pellinol was a scourge on that race, and not much given to irony. Pellinol was much too grim for that. Even in youth he wore white hair, and trouble followed him. Perhaps his enemies named Pellinol of their own in their tongue, but that is doubtful, for it means glorious knight. and he was neither of them. He was neither to them. Certainly, many others added to that name during his days in Tamriel. He was Pelinal, the White Strake, because of his left hand, made of a killing light. He was Pelinal the Bloody, for he drank it in victory. For he was Pelinal, insurgent, because he gave the Crusades a face. He was Pelinal in triumph, as the words eventually became synonymous, and men in arms gave thanks to the Eight when they saw his banner coming through war. He was Pelinal the Blamer, for he was quick to admonish those allies of his that favored tactics that ran counter to his. That is sword theory, and he was Pelinal the Third, though whether this was because some said he was a god geyser who had incarnated twice before already, or that simpler, he was the third vision given to Peraf Anon Lesia in her prayers of liberation before he walked among the quarters of rebellion, is unknown. And the runes of Kemelzi, we'll read that later. And the Madmen of the Reach. It's a very good tale about the Reach, not Halo Reach, of course, but the Reach, which is the Reach of Markarth in that area. A very interesting tale to be told for certain. But that's another time. Alright, we're done with that. Sorry for keeping you waiting. We're just taking care of some of the things that, you know, normally when you're playing Skyrim, it doesn't really become an issue, but when you're trying to do a Let's Play, obviously, people get a little anxious. So these aren't these are real vampires, by the way. Real, well, actually, from what I hear is that you can walk around in daytime as a vampire, and if that is true, then these are not real vampires. But they are vampires in that, well, actually, come to think of it, if you really get into my definition of vampires, why don't we just talk about that another time? Let's talk more about Clavicus Vile and the Daedra. Stop having bad feelings. If you stop having bad feelings, you know, nothing bad would happen. I know, that's not very... Lydia, you take front. Ow! Lydia! Oh, crap. Lydia, get out of the way! Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. This is not good. Oh, vampire robes. I'll take those. I already have the boots. I'll take the circlet. That's cool. Take that. Well, you're not coming after me, so, you can say that all you want, but I think, what the... Huh. Interesting. Well, why don't you come and find me? If you're so smart. Smarty pants. Jeez. Ah, jeez. Not the best lock picker in the world. I think I'm pretty good. Now we'll put a little frostbite venom on our bow so we can get a nice good attack here. Ooh, Ooh, the real Berenzia. That's the real Berenzia is a story. So hopefully we find more of those books. Take that small sack of salt. Huh. You even down there?
Something's not right.
I know you're down there, but you're making it very difficult for me to do anything.
Something's not
You're welcome. Yeah. Okay, good. Vampire's dead. Take your armor and arrow and leave everything else and search this bandit and take the arrow back and alright. What are we doing in here though? This is a very, very long and unusually complicated cavern. Response to Barrow's speech. Ooh, okay. Response to Barrow's speech by Malvisor Battle Mage. Oh, I meant to read it. Excuse me. Where is it? There it is. On the 14th of last seed, an illusionist by the name of Baravar Barrow gave a very ignorant speech at the chantry of Julianos in the Imperial City. As ignorant speeches are hardly uncommon, there was no reason to respond to it. Unfortunately, he has since had the speech privately printed as Barrow's Speech to the Battle Mages, and it's received some small, undeserved attention in academic circles. Let us put his misconceptions to rest. Barrow began his lecture with an occasionally factual account of famous battle mages from Turin Arctis. Oh, no, it's Turin. I think it's Z. Zurin Arctis, Tiber Septim's Imperial Battle Mage, to Yigar Tharn, Uriel Septim the Seventh Imperial Battle Mage. His intent was to show that where it matters, the Battle Mage relies on other schools of magicka, not the School of Destruction, which is supposedly a Battle Mage's particular forte. Allow me to first dispute these so-called historical facts. Zurin Arctis did not create the golem Numidium by spells of mysticism and conjuration, as Barrow alleges. The truth is that we don't know how Numidium was created, or if it was a golem or atronach in any traditional sense of those words. Uriel Fifth's battle mage Hithoth was not an imperial battle mage. He was simply a sorcerer in the employ of the Empire. Thus, which spells he cast in various battles on Akavir are irrelevant, not to mention hearsay. Barrow calls Empress Moratha's battle mage Wellock, an accomplished diplomat, but not a powerful student of the School of Destruction. I congratulate Barrow on correctly identifying an imperial battle mage, but there are many written examples of Wellock's skill in the School of Destruction. The sage Solaris, for example, wrote extensively about Wellock casting the vampiric cloud on the rebellious army of Blackrose, causing their strength and skill to pass on to their opponents. What is this but an impressive example of the School of Destruction? Barrow rather pathetically includes Yigar Tharn in his list of underachieving battle mages. To use an insane traitor as an example of rational behavior is an untenable position. What would Barrow prefer? That Tharn used the School of Destruction to destroy Tamriel by a more traditional means? Barrow uses his misrepresentation of history as the basis for his argument. Even if he had found 4 excellent examples from history of battle mages casting spells outside their school, and he didn't, he would only have anecdotal evidence which isn't enough to support an argument. I could easily find 4 examples of illusionists casting healing spells or night blades teleporting. There is a time and a place for everything. Barrow's argument, built on this shaky ground, is that the School of Destruction is not a true school. He calls it narrow and shallow as an avenue of study, and its students impatient with megalomaniac tendencies. How can one respond to this? Someone who knows nothing about casting a spell of destruction, criticizing the school for being too simple? Summarizing the School of Destruction as learning how to do the maximum amount of damage in the minimum amount of time is clearly absurd, and he expounds on his ignorance by listing all of the complicated factors studied in his own School of Illusion. Allow me, in response, to list the factors studied in the School of Destruction. The means of delivering the spell matters more in the School of Destruction than any other school. Whether it is cast at a touch, at a range, in concentric circles, or it cast once to be triggered later. What forces must be reined in to cast the spell? Fire, lightning, or frost? And what are the advantages and dangers of each? What are the responses from different targets, from the assault of different spells of destruction? What are the possible defenses, and how may they be assailed? What environmental factors must be taken into consideration? What are the advantages of a spell of delayed damage? Barrow suggests that the School of Destruction cannot be subtle, yet he forgets about all the curses that fall under the mantle of the school, sometimes affecting generation after generation in subtle yet sublime ways. The School of Alteration is a distinct and separate entity from the School of Destruction, and Barrow's argument that they should be merged into one is patently ludicrous. He insists again, a man who knows nothing about the schools of alteration and destruction is the one insisting this, that damage is part of the changing of reality dealt with by the spells of alteration. The implication is that levitation, to list a spell of alteration, is a close cousin of a shock bolt, a spell of destruction. It would make as much sense as to say that the School of Alteration, being all about the actuality of change, should absorb the School of Illusion, being all about the appearance of change. It certainly isn't a coincidence that a master of the School of Illusion cast this attack on the School of Destruction. Illusion is, after all about masking the truth. Very interesting story. Very interesting report. We got the intendings of Dunmer Law, which we'll read another time. In more books, Dunmer and Couriers Volume 3. I'm not sure if I have the second one or whatever, but whatever. Song of the Escaled Men, nor traditional. We have a mixed unit tactics, that's a ruined book, so none of that's important. Oh, for crying out loud, so many books. Let's just grab them and be done with it. I grabbed a ruined book. Oh, Song of Penal, Volume 5, that's very good. Chance's Folly. Mystery of Talara, which I guess is a very, I don't know, what did I just pick up? I'm not sure. I think I'm Wolf Queen, Book 7. Oh, very interesting. In the brief history of the Empire. What brief histories do I have? I have 2. And this is 3 and 4. Very nice. Interesting thing about the Wolf Queen books from Morrowind is that some of them were actually skill books, and I'm not sure if they are also skill books in Skyrim. The skill books are like the one we just read about Barrow's response, give insight into the skill that they are teaching. Okay, finally we can be out of this place. To Hamar's Shrine. Now see, I don't know anything about Hamar, or why he has a shrine. Or does that mean Hamar is a shrine to vampires? Are we in the right place? Yes. Yes, we are. Perhaps Clavicus Vile has become a vampire? Ooh, that'd be very interesting. Oh. Spider. Thank you. I've had all I can take from you, wretched things. Oh. Hey, wait a minute. This is a dead end? I hope not. Now, here we go. This is the way. What was I just saying? Oh, yes. So, as I said, the Daedra and Daedra pretty much represent the gods pantheon of the oh, an arcane enchanter that's covered in blood. That's not unusual. Let's disenchant one of those cultist robes. That one. Frost resistance. And I know I should disenchant that, but I want to keep it. Actually, yeah, I want to keep it for now. Since I have an ancient Nord bow, and I have a lesser soul gem, that's cool. Unfortunately, since I can adjust the damage based on the charge, there's not a lot of charges, probably best to just put in, let's say, 4 points of damage. And we'll rename it. Oh, wait. Yes. Rename it Ancient Nord. Ah, screw that. Kick-ass bow of fire. And then craft that bullshit. Very nice. See, if I disenchant that robe, the most I'm going to get is a 10% Magicka regen, rather than the 50% I'm getting right now. Which is bullshit. Why would I take that? Ah, the City of Stone. Another book for later, unfortunately. Oh, we got book 1. That means we have the whole brief history of the Empire. Oh, that's lovely. Spear of Nirn. Oh, is that about Nirnroot? If it is, it started at, well, that's something interesting. We've been finding Nirnroot around. I haven't really said anything about it, but you can find Nirnroot in Elder Scrolls Oblivion first. It wasn't in the Elder Scrolls Morrowind for some reason. Well, not really for some reason. It was just kind of one of the things introduced in Oblivion. And it was a quest line that you would use to, you know, gain money and unlock special ability. Well, not special abilities, but items, you know. It was like one of the many fetch quests that you would find in the game. Now, in this game, they took out the quest portion, but the Nirnroot still is found the same way, with the high-pitched ringing. And instead of gathering it for someone, you can just use it for yourself. I guess not. Oh. Wolf? Ah, jeez. Poor vampires. I guess I might as well take your stuff. Ain't no use to you anymore, that's for sure. Take the horse meat. Like a goat. Take your food. You don't need it. You're a statue. One of the things I loved in the Elder Scrolls, ooh, chest. Take your potion of the warrior. And that way it's locked. Alright, I guess we gotta talk to this. One of the things I loved in the Elder Scrolls Morrowind, and which was really shocking, is that if you went to one of these shrines and you took something from the altar, it was usually one thing from the altar. If you took that one thing from the altar, you summoned a very powerful Daedra to have to fight because you insulted the guy. Okay. Lord Vile, I have a request of you. I do?
By all means, let's hear it. It's the least I could do since you already helped me grant one final wish for my last worshippers.
Oh, good point.
They were suffering so from vampirism and begged me for a cure. Then you came and ended their misery. I couldn't have planned it better myself.
Oh, I guess you're happy then.
What's your heart's desire? What kind of deal can we strike?
An end to the civil war that plagues my land, the power to crush all before me. I'm just here to reunite with Barbas. How about an end to the civil war that plagues my land?
Oh, if I had my full power, granting that would be trivial.
Indeed.
I'd simply snap my fingers and everyone in Skyrim would die. War resolved.
Oh,
As much
right.
as I hate to say it, you're almost as powerful as I am right now. But that's just because half of my power resides in that mutt Barbas.
Oh.
Hey, come to think of it, I know of a win-win situation for both of us.
What's your offer?
There's an axe. An incredibly powerful axe. An axe powerful enough for me to have quite a bit of fun indeed.
He's looking for another weapon?
If you bring
What happened to Umbra?
I'll grant you my boon. No strings attached, no messy surprises. At least not for you. As I recall, it's resting in Rock Burrow. Barbas can lead you right to it. Little Mutt might even earn his place back at my side.
Alright. Barbas. So what's the story behind the rueful axe?
One of Clavicus's little jests. A wizard named Sebastian Lord had a daughter who worshipped her seed. When the daughter became a werewolf, it drove Sebastian over the edge. He couldn't stand to see his little girl take on such a bestial form. The wizard wished for the ability to end his daughter's curse. Clavicus gave him an axe.
That makes sense. Oh, hey, Lydia. So, is that it? Do we have to walk all the way back? Can I just go this way? Hey, Clavicus. You gonna say anything? What did you want again?
Rock Burrow, there's an artifact called the Rueful Axe. Bring it to me, and I'll take Barbas back. Simple as that.
Well, if it will get Barbas to go back home, I suppose I'll do it. Dog and his master should never be apart like this. Certainly getting a lot of vampire dust from my work. More than I would expect. Oh well. Hold on one moment. Alright. Excuse me, Barbas. Will you stop nudging into me for crying out loud? Alright. We're going to have to take care of the next part of this quest in the next video. Because we are all out of time for today. But leave a like or comment below if you enjoyed this. And you can subscribe for more of My Little Skyrim. We'll be back next week with the continuation and hopefully the conclusion of the Clavicus Vial quest. Until next time, good night.